Tonight on the Barbara Walters Special.
You can still laugh.
Yeah, at the time it was awfully painful, the experience.
Okay, do Whoopi Goldberg selling me Tupperware.
It works. Buy it, don't buy it, I don't care. It's a job. I mean, I go home and I write jokes and...
Who can't you tease and make jokes about?
Mother Teresa's a bad subject.
I would think so.
You don't get big laughs from Mother Teresa.
We're all below Jack, Barbara. Jack's the king. We're all just players in the court.
This is the funniest story in the world, I think.
My real name is Timothy Allen Dick.
Uncle Mac, what's happening with you? What, are you crazy?
You're either funny or you're not. When you're really good at it, it just seems like a guy talking.
I don't believe in dying anyway.
No good.
I think it's been done.
Tonight, we put the funniest people in the world under one roof and then tried to make some sense out of the insanity. Who are your favorites? Jerry Seinfeld? Billy Crystal? Whoopi Goldberg? We got 'em. Who makes you laugh? Tim Allen? Eddie Murphy? Roseanne Arnold? Well, they're all here. What about Lucille Ball or George Burns, Johnny Carson? No problem. We have all the funny moments when we see them as comics, and all the finest moments when we see them as human beings. Tonight we bring you the comedy interviews, the best ever seen, and the rest never seen. We've gone into our files to find some funny stuff that didn't air originally. Oh, did I mention David Letterman and Robin Williams? Mm-hmm. Stay with us.
The Barbara Walters Special, Happy Hour. Brought to you by Lincoln Mercury and the complete line of Lincoln luxury automobiles. Lincoln, what a luxury car should be.
Tim Allen, Lily Tomlin, Brett Butler, Candace Bergen, and more for the American Comedy Awards. Next, here on ABC. Edith Ann is back on TGIF with a wild new adventure.
Our whole family is like that. The least little thing just sets us off.
It's an all-new Edith Ann.
Did it ever occur to you that we would rather have our cookies first and figure paint later?
Friday on TGIF here on ABC.
Did you go into comedy because you couldn't make it as an actor?
Yes, I actually...
Is that true? I mean, that's what I read. That you couldn't get a job as a... You cry on this program, and I won't run any of it. You promised me you wouldn't cry.
I tell you, I couldn't make it as an actor. I remember doing Hamlet, going to be, line, I found it very difficult being in tights, you know, and you're wearing tights and you're doing Shakespeare and they can tell what religion you are.
The tears come down your cheeks.
Yeah, they go. I can't believe it, Barbara, you... Oh.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you know who your parents were? Everybody's a comedian. Actually, it's true. Sometimes it's accidental and sometimes carefully planned, but everybody's a comedian. For those of us who've worked in these specials over these past years, we know it's not a good cry that makes the show. It's a good laugh. Are you aware of the invitations that people do of you?
The calla lilies are in bloom again. They're such a strange flower.
My name is Bond. James Bond.
What a dump.
I think everybody has one person that they can imitate. You know, either if it's some member of the family or someone that you work with, everybody has one person that you can pick up on.
Rod Steiger, I can do Rod Steiger. You are nothing. I tell you, my friend, Brando and I, we didn't get on.
I started out to do Marlon Brando in The Godfather when I saw the film. And I had, was this.
Godfather, you want me to?
No. And this kind of was, I couldn't get it great. And this voice ended up becoming Muhammad Ali.
We're all below Jack, Barbara. Jack's the king. We're all just players in the court.
I used to do this routine where I would do Jewish guys saying goodbye. You ever seen them saying goodbye? This Jewish guy say goodbye for a long time. It's like, Shai, see you later, okay? You're going to call me? Shai, call you later. You coming by? I'm going to call you. I'll see you later. All right. Come here. I love you. How are you? You're beautiful. I'll see you later, okay? Call me later. All right.
Barbara, darling, you look marvelous.
I'll see you later, okay? Call me later. All right. What time? about 6 o'clock. Don't forget to call.
How do you stay in shape so you can stay inside your clothes?
All right, I'm gonna call you. 6 o'clock is your date. Okay, see you later. 6 o'clock, don't forget. I love you. You're beautiful.
Because it's better to look good than to
Oh, it's
feel
much
good.
better to look good than to feel good. I'll tell you that right now.
So call me later, we'll talk. What time you want me to call again? 6 o'clock?
I kept pinching myself. I'm working with Sammy Davis, and when you work with him a lot, you just can't help but leave a room talking like him. And it's exciting. Thank you, Reverend, and I mean that. When I got to Saturday night, I said, you know, I think I could do Sammy Davis. What we gotta do is loosen you up a little bit. You're a little stiff. Come on, dance with me, man. Let's, chicka. It was unbelievable. And the next day, my mother calls, and she said, I love the show. Boy, that Eddie Murphy does Sammy Davis so great. I said, Mom, it was me. And she said, get out of it. I said, it was me. And she said, do it. I started talking to her on the phone. Mom, sitting there in Collins Avenue. How are you, babe?
When I say stop, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah?
And all I want you to say is, I thought you were born in Buffalo.
Okay, I can do that.
Okay, now, 1, 2.
I honestly don't think you can teach comedy, although I thank George Burns for trying.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, stop. Funny thing happened to my mother in Cleveland.
I thought you were born in Buffalo.
Music.
What? Wait a minute.
That's it. We're in show business.
No, I think for most of us, it just happens. For example, Paul Hogan and I probably could have used a translator.
It's this obsession with age, probably. It's age and weight. America that was starting to show in the films.
Age and what?
Age and weight.
Age and white.
Weight.
White, I understand.
Weight, as in fat. You know, you can't be old and you can't be fat.
Oh, wait.
Weight. You just said the same word as me.
No, you said white.
White.
White, like black and white. You don't mean black and white.
W-E-I-G-H-T.
W-E-I-G-H-T. Wait.
Wait, yeah.
Repeat after me.
You'll get it.
That's all I think life is about, really, is touching somebody and being with somebody.
Give him a topic, and Dudley Moore can always find the punchline. In this case, world leaders and world peace.
I can't imagine what else would be important. And I think, I mean, I sound like a flower child, don't I? But I think it's damn well true.
You mean if Brezhnev and Khomeini and all the crowd could just
get together in one big room with a, you know, a big bowl of oil, I think everybody would fine.
Since you've had all of these years of therapy, if I, you know, do that old kind of word thing where you just say all the words, will you tell me immediately? Will you try and keep it vaguely sensible and clean, please? Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Happy.
Oil.
Being able to crack someone up is powerful and addicting. Most comedians spend their lives trying to duplicate the pure pleasure of that first time they knew they were funny. Not all were once the class clown, but they remember.
We had this little tiny house in Long Beach, Long Island. And when the relatives came over, they put their coats in my room. So my room became the wardrobe room. See, so I would put on the coats, my brothers and I would go out and, like, work the room.
Like what?
Stand on the coffee table. I'd walk up to Uncle Mac and go, now I'm 5 or 6 years old, going, Uncle Mac, what's happening with you? Why, are you crazy? Why do you drive like that? And they'd get hysterical, and then my cousin Edith would give me dimes, and I'd put a dime right on my head, see? So then, as the show progressed, if my head got filled up with all the dimes, like this,
and they stick.
And they stick, show's over.
I see, and you're a rich kid.
Yeah, then we go in the room and go, how'd you do? How'd you do? It's $1.50. Ooh, I was hot tonight. So thanks for the dimes.
When was the first time that you knew you were funny? Were you a little kid? Were you in school? What did you do? What happened? Do you remember?
I was on a fishing trip with my father and some doctors, and I was about 10, and there were adults all around me, and I was telling them a story at a table, and they were laughing. And I remember thinking, they're not laughing at me. They're laughing with me, which is a whole other thing. They weren't laughing at a child. They were laughing at someone making them, amusing them. I thought, oh, this is very interesting. And that changed my life tremendously.
My mother would go to work, and I'd get dressed up and do shows by myself in the basement.
What did you do in the basement? Is that when you did your Elvis Presley?
I do Elvis Presley concerts. I had live from Madison Square Garden album, and I would do Elvis. I was Elvis for 40 minutes, and the brown carpet was the edge of the stage, and I would be playing to chairs, and I was crazy. I was really crazy.
Did you do this to anybody or all by yourself?
No, I was by myself.
And you did 40 minutes or an hour of you doing everybody?
Sweat pouring. And, thank you, thank you! And nobody there for me. My big brother came in one day, and I was doing a show, and he stood and he watched me. And afterwards, I turned around, he was standing, he just said, "You crazy, man. You crazy."
I remember when I was very young, I remember the first joke I told, it was Miss Allen's class in the 4th grade. And I still see all these teachers, by the way, which is very funny. And she was talking about, the Sheriff of Nottingham. And Robin Hood and Friar Tuck. And she said the sheriff was a very mean man, and he would get Robin's men and boil them in oil. And I remember putting my hand up. I said, well, she couldn't do that with Tuck. And she said, why not? And I said, well, he was a friar. I mean, it's a stupid joke. I mean, it's a terrible joke. But I remember she laughed, and I remember, and got kind of annoyed and then laughed. But later in the hall, other teachers would say, what was that joke you told in Miss Allen? So obviously she had told the joke, and I thought, well, this is kind of neat. I mean, I never thought in terms of being a comedian, but it was just fun. I always remember the reaction of people reciting something I had said, and I thought, oh, well, that was kind of neat. You know, I like that feeling.
For many comics, staying in touch with the child they once were is the secret to their success. Like a kid, Jerry Seinfeld seems to wake up in a strange new world every day, continually astounded by all the little things we take for granted. Seinfeld builds a joke like a preschooler builds a house, block by block. Simple fragments that add up to something greater and funnier than the sum of their parts.
To me, clothes spend most of their lives waiting, if you look at it. In the closet, in the hamper, in the drawer. The shirt's in your house right now going, he never picks me. Laundry day is their only exciting day, because the washing machine is the nightclub of clothes. It's dark, bubbles happening, they're all kind of dancing around in there. Shirt grabs the underwear, come on, babe, let's go. You come by, you open up the lid, they all go.
When did you start to find humor in minutia?
Oh, well, I think I was just born that way.
When you were a little kid, did you walk in the kitchen? I mean, you do a whole thing about breakfast food. Did you walk in the kitchen or about...
That all my life I've been having cereal, and yet I still don't know how much milk to put in the bowl. It's amazing. I must have had thousands of bowls, and yet I really have take a wild guess. I have to guess. I calculate the density of the cereal, the size of the bowl, you know.
But did you do that as a kid?
Yeah.
Did you say, hey, Mom, you know, why do I have too much milk for my cereal?
See, the thing is, all kids do that, but I didn't stop doing that. I didn't want to grow up. I wanted to keep doing that. I remember in college, everybody talking about how they were going to get jobs. I thought, oh, gee, I don't want to get a job. That doesn't seem like any fun. I've been having fun. I want to keep having fun. So I said, is there some sort of job out there where you can just fool around and have fun? And this comedian thing, you know. I go, well, this is the thing. I got to do this. I don't care if I starve, you know, but I don't want to go to work.
Do you see the world differently?
I see these other things that everybody else has missed. I got to tell you about this, you know. Look at this. Everyone's been over this 1,000 times. Everyone's put on socks 100,000 times. No one's, look at this. You know, it's been right there all along. It's brain surgery without an incision.
You know my favorite?
No.
Improved Tide.
That they're still working on Tide. Boy, here's stuff that's been getting people's clothes clean for God knows how long. And it's not good enough. It's not good enough. I mean, boy, they must drive those people. Talk about neurotic. Those people must be sick.
That new, improved.
Yeah, you've got to make it better. The whites have got to be whiter. How much whiter? They're already blinding us with white, you know. It's just not good enough.
Okay, now how do I...
You got to admire that company. They refuse to give up.
And the lady washing...
Does the clothes disappear? Well, then will they be satisfied that you open the washing machine and it's empty? We got the clothes so clean, they're gone.
We can't even see them.
Yes, that's good.
Do you remember, I have bloodstains?
Bloodstains, right? Yeah, that they show you how they can get bloodstains out of your clothes. If you've got bloodstains, you know, laundry should not be your biggest concern. There should be something else you're doing if you're bleeding besides the wash.
Next, The Tears of a Clown with Kirstie Alley, Roseanne Arnold, and David Letterman.
I think you should cancel the wedding.
What? Will the wedding you've been waiting for be a bust?
I'm leaking.
The season finale of Roseanne. Then it's a vacation from hell when Ellen's cousin visits.
Though the swim at your own risk signs are merely guidelines. Don't lay out in the sun. Don't eat fatty foods. Don't swim in raw sewage. Blah, 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 blah.
And all new These Friends of Mine. Then, Mary Hart interviews Hayden Fox.
You're not going to make me cry, are you?
Plus, you'll see the funniest highlights from 6 seasons on a new one-hour coach Tuesday at a special time on ABC.
The Barbara Walters Special Happy Hour will continue in a moment here on ABC.
Live from New York, who will win Daytime's most prestigious award?
And the Emmy goes to...
It's a night to remember as Daytime's best are honored. Susan Lucci hosts the 21st Annual Daytime Emmy Awards Wednesday night on ABC. Goes their only television interview tonight at 11 on 7.
Barbara. What are you doing there?
Sorry to keep you waiting, but I've been observing you for the last 45 minutes to make sure you weren't followed. You know, I just bought a new house up here in the hills, and I'm nervous about people knowing where it is and then just
nobody even came. There hasn't been a soul here.
I know, but, you know, you just never know. And I'd like to take you to it, but I have a favor to ask of you. If you would mind wearing a blindfold on the way up there.
Blindfold?
Well, in case you're at a party or something and the address were accidentally to slip out. That would kind of protect me, and if you wouldn't mind, I'd sort of appreciate. Now,
kind of silly, but do it.
Well, maybe it's silly. I also wear a blindfold on the way up in case I'm accidentally drugged with truth serum and someone, you know, might get me to tell where I live.
How are we going to get there?
We'll drive. Does that feel like we're in forward? Hang on.
You never know what you'll see when you visit somebody's home.
We're okay.
Steve Martin drove me crazy with this fake tour of his luxurious Southern California estate.
Here we are. You wouldn't have believed this place when I first bought it. It was a wreck. Would you like to see the terrace?
Oh, that would be nice.
It's nice out here. Oh. Gotta get that door fixed.
The late Red Fox kept caged monkeys in his bedroom. Whether it was for his entertainment or theirs was never quite clear.
Everything works off the latch. Please lock door, see?
Radar approach course.
Hear him?
Billy Crystal took bathroom humor to new heights with his in-home airplane lavatory.
Look at it. See the little soaps? I take everything. If you ever see me on a plane, and I'm in the bathroom for a long time, I'm not sick, I'm stealing. And I'll tell you one thing. For those of you who have the space and are in a little stall in your love life, an airplane bathroom, it's like one of the great things.
How do you like what we've done to your house? Have we improved your living room?
I believe you've done something beautiful with here. These, if you can pan over here, and that one, these are staying to give it that lovely high-tech look.
And it's not like all the homes were funny.
To have in the house, you know, it's always good for Zelda to actually wake up and go, no.
Sometimes it was just the people who lived in them.
This is beautiful. I like this. No, this is
We
what
can
you've done
leave
in
it.
this lovely stuff. This stuff, you can never have enough moving blankets in your home. You can never insulate your house for sound, because eventually you'll be walking around the house going, it's wonderful. Now I'll be doing Comics of a Lesser God. This is great. Look, he can't behind it.
You're driving him crazy.
This is great. Well, this will have that special look.
This is called reality.
And now we can do like the
programming.
mafia interview.
I never saw her.
We
and they
do a lot
distort
of
the
that.
face. You know, show them in silhouette.
Now you don't know who I am or why.
I guess the oddest place I've ever done an interview was in Kirstie Alley's bedroom. Actually, the interview itself was just as strange. We were talking about her first break, a major role in Star Trek II, which happened to coincide with the sudden accidental death of her mother. Now, using this clip in a show about comedy may seem disrespectful initially. But listen, and I think you'll see not only why this lady is funny, but how humor can and often does originate from the darkest and saddest of places.
The happiest moment of my life, literally, was when I got that movie. And the saddest moment of my life was when my mother died. But there was something that occurred that sort of summed up my mother in this time period. When I got a call that, first of all, you have to know that my mother was a very funny person. So anyway, I got this phone call. My sister called me, and I was in Los Angeles, and said, Mom and Dad have been in a car wreck, and Mother is dead. And Dad is dying. And I, of course, was falling apart. But all I knew was I had to get there. And I got there, and my sister and I, we were all sitting in this waiting room, and we were sobbing. And as I'm crying, I said, my sister's here, and I wasn't looking at her, but I said, where were they going? And she said, to a Halloween party. And I said, what were they dressed as? Why would you ask this? Why would you? And she said, The Odd Couple. And I'm thinking, what odd couple? Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon? Well, what were their costumes exactly? She said, Mom was a black girl and Dad was a Ku Klux Klan member. We started laughing. And the whole family, I guess, had heard this conversation, and we all started laughing. And it was the greatest tribute that you could give my mother. Do you know? And I really realized that through us, she existed. You know, she would continue. And that she had left us with this wonderful sense of humor and this wonderful ability to laugh and cry at the same time. So I felt closer to her then than I ever felt to her in my life.
There is a picture I noticed behind me on your bureau. Is that your mother?
No. I bought that frame, and it had that woman's face in it, and I felt like this is everybody's mother.
But you don't even know this woman?
No. But doesn't she look like everybody's mother? Doesn't she look like the woman that makes cookies and tucks you in?
But that's just, I mean, that's so bizarre and funny and wonderful.
It is
It's
crazy.
mother, but it isn't mother. I mean, if I had to sum you up, I would tell people this. We all walked in here and we said, oh, isn't that touching? That's Christy's mother on her bureau next to her. It's a lady you don't even know?
No, my mother's right there with that sailor.
Is that sailor your father?
No.
I won't even go further.
The cliche goes like this. Comedians are basically unhappy people who are desperately searching for laughs in order to compensate for a painful past. Laughing on the outside, crying on the inside. But is it true?
I would say that was pretty accurate. I don't dwell on it too much, except when I'm really alone. Everybody has a certain amount of sorrow in their lives.
They don't all become funny.
No, they don't. But there was a time when I was a kid when I felt that I didn't belong, you know, and that is the kind of, that sort of feeling, that sort of sorrow, is the kind of sorrow or bad feelings that would make you want to be funny.
I think at the root of it, when you speak to actors and comedians like myself or any of the others that you've interviewed, you're speaking to people who need approval. They need to be told they're good, that they mean that they're important. We don't like to admit these things. I speak for all of us, but I think that most people who've chosen the kind of life that I've seemed to have fallen into and chosen, they do have a lower sense of self-esteem.
Did you ever go to a psychiatrist? Did you ever feel the need for that?
I never felt the need, but I have been there when I was trying to get someone else to go there, and I wound up being the one that went.
Where was that?
With Desi. But he would go once or twice, and I'd wind up taking the rest of the... I got tired of talking about my childhood because I had a happy childhood.
It's been said that comic genius comes from, you know, troubled, unhappy childhood. What do you think?
Well, I think it's different for everybody. If that was the case, then Eugene O'Neill should have been the funniest man in the world.
I'm only sad when I miss a laugh or something. I cry right in front of, right in public.
I mean, it's a lovely rumor.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the happy, you know,
Yeah.
the sad clown.
Yeah.
But whether it's true or not, it's as true as it applies to comedians as it applies to anybody. You know, lawyers, are they unhappy off stage? Yeah, just as much as anybody else.
Maybe so, but I distinctly remember 3 people who admitted that personal pain was at the source of their humor. First, Carol Burnett, the poor Texas girl raised by her eccentric grandmother because her alcoholic parents weren't capable.
As a kid, I thought, oh, Lord, they don't love me, or they wouldn't do this.
Will they fall down drunk, that kind of drunk?
Mm-hmm. I'd seen him pass out and walk in. And Mama just took to her bed towards the end. But you see, my mama once told me, now I don't know if this was her, if she made this up or a quote she'd read, but I love it. She says, you know, a lot of comedy is tragedy plus time.
And Dudley Moore, whose humor can be traced directly to his unhappy youth as a schoolboy, tormented for having a deformed foot. Were they cruel?
Yes. Yes, as only children know how to be. And I wasn't able to cope with it very well until I discovered comedy.
How old were you when you found out that being funny made them laugh instead of hit?
13.
You mean you really remember what it was?
I remember the exact moment. And I was in class and I was thinking, God, I cannot face another lunch out with my pencil box thrown all over the place, ink wells emptied into my hair, my suspenders pulled off, kicked. I can't stand this. So I made some inane joke. It was in an English lesson, and Mr. Day was at the front of the class, and I made this stupid joke. And everybody looked round, and they couldn't believe that this pompous brat with the funny leg had made this joke. And, but from that moment, everything was diffused. I remember that.
And then there was Roseanne Arnold, whose parents believed she was mentally ill and sent her away at age 17 to a mental hospital.
It was a very horrifying place. Everything about it was horrifying, and luckily, or unluckily, I was very heavily drugged, so I saw everything through a pretty intense fog. But it was just, it was Dante's Inferno, you know, but it was the place where you come out of and you emerge and you become something else, or else you die. And I came out.
Did you ever think that maybe there was something seriously wrong with you?
I thought the thing that was seriously wrong with me was that I was in Utah. And I still do it 15 years later, yeah.
Did you ever go back to that hospital?
I went back to the state hospital, like, after I had been on Carson once. And I was going, I can't believe that I ever lived here and that I ever got out. Because all the other kids my age that were there are all dead. But when we were going down, I saw this nurse, and she had these 2 people with her, you know. And so I did this for myself. But I just pulled up alongside him, and I go, I used to be in here 15 years ago. And you know, then I go, you know, and now I make over $1 million a year. And all of them turned and just go. Then the nurse goes, what? And I go, I'm not talking to you.
Maybe it sunk in with one of them. Maybe one kid felt, hey, I'll be okay too. If she is, I will be too.
Yeah, and I am okay.
But let's not leave it there. Let the adorably evasive David Letterman attempt to explain the source and sense of his humor. One of your quotes from a past interview is, some people are born not to be happy people. I am one of them.
I don't think I said that. Did I say that?
Quote, unquote.
Oh, I must have been miserably drunk.
Miserably drunk. Yes, well, speaking of miserably drunk.
Geez, I really said that?
Yeah.
Wow.
The childhood in Indiana. Happy memories?
Largely, yeah, happy memories.
Middle child.
Right.
You know what we hear about middle children.
Raised by poodles. Did you know that? Is that in your notes?
No, I didn't know that. That's nice. Yeah.
No, I had a great childhood. It was, I wish I had something to complain about. I mean, it was, I had an older sister and a younger sister, and mom and dad, and played Little League baseball, and had a tree house, was, you know, dropped out of school in the 4th grade and ran away.
Yeah,
Was
unfortunately.
tortured by circus people.
Right.
Found me naked wandering in the desert 6 weeks later. Other than that, it was okay.
Yeah, well, those are things I'll just overlook. But you were not a cool kid when you were in school. You were...
No, just a jerk, just a nerd.
You were a nerd.
A goofball, yeah.
Yeah, but now you're so... Don't get upset,
no,
but you're
just a
so
jerk
cute.
and a
Why were you
goofball
such a
and a
nerd
nerd.
then?
I still think you know, it's just some people, I think, Barbara, are born not to be happy. Oh, whatever that was.
Where have I heard that? I don't know about you, but I can never get enough David Letterman. And we'll have a little bit more coming up.
Plus, Eddie Murphy's profanity and Robin Williams' insanity when we return.
It's the concert event of the year. Phil Collins, in concert, presented exclusively by Sears.
This tour is going to be good fun, but also an opportunity to help the less fortunate. Together, Sears and I are going to be working to raise money for the homeless in the communities we visit. Why not have a good time and help a good cause?
Please be seated. The performance is about to begin. The 32-valve, 280-horsepower Lincoln Mark 8. It's like Beethoven with an attitude. Drive everything else first.
It's the #1 recommendation of doctors.
Doctors have prescribed Monistat for years.
The #1 choice of women.
It's what I used whenever I had a yeast infection.
Monistat 7 cream starts to soothe on contact and cures yeast infections fast. And now it's available in improved disposable cardboard applicators.
Monistat works. It's the cure I trust.
There are other creams.
My doctor said Monistat is still the right cure for me. That's all I had to hear.
Monistat, the #1 choice of women, the #1 recommendation of doctors.
When adventure calls, hello, don't put it on hold.
Buried treasure?
$20 million! The map is real! The map is on fire!
Billy Crystal,
We're having a great time. I was almost killed today.
Daniel Stern,
Something's coming. And it's definitely coming from that direction.
John Lovitz, and Jack Palance.
Ah, you thought I was dead, didn't you?
City Slickers 2, rated PG-13. At theaters June 10th.
Tonight, join Billy Crystal, Tim Allen, Brett Butler.
Could I be any more in?
Jonathan Winters, Candace Bergen, Lily Tomlin, Meg Ryan, Jerry Van Dyke, Chevy Chase, and more for the American Comedy Awards next here on ABC.
What would you like me to say about you when people say, what was he really like?
A powerful man. You could feel his presence a block away. You know what? I think this is funny. One time we had Goldie Hawn on this show, and I was always interested in her name. And I said to her, like the second or third question, I said, "Have you always been Goldie?" And she pauses for a second. She says, "Well, you know, I've always just been me. And if being me is being Goldie, then And I said, no. I mean, was that the name your parents gave you when you were born?" I said, "I'm not exactly Barbara Walters here." We all enjoyed a big laugh.
I guess you're going to be able to laugh at yourself. Case in point, Jay Leno. Nobody had a worse string of luck in their early years than Jay. This painfully honest but comical discussion of his attempts to make it in show business has never aired before. But I should warn you that if you're considering a career in stand-up comedy, this may talk you out of it.
You know, the worst part is that you're so naive when you first get into show business. I had one time, I was looking for a manager. I said, I'll look up in the paper. Theatrical managers, Boston. It's like, well, there was one name. So I go down to see the guy, and the guy turns out to handle wrestlers. You know. He says, what do you want? I'm a comedian. He said, comedian. How tall are you? I said, oh, about 6 foot tall. He says, oh, can you wrestle? You ever wrestle? I said, well, yeah, I wrestled in high school and stuff. He says, I got it. You'll be comedy man. You'll be comedy man. You wrestle a guy, when he gets you in the hole, you tell him a joke, he falls down laughing, you pin him. You know, I'm like an idiot. I
You'll
said,
be a comedian wrestler.
yeah, and I said, well, I don't know if he says, do this, go like this, go like this. Good, I like that, good. You know, and I was there all afternoon practicing. You know, and then you realize, well, I gotta go. And you,
maybe that's not
it. Oh, no, that didn't work. And I used to work a place in Revere called the Beachcomber.
I know Revere Beach.
Okay, and the guy would say to me, wear old clothes, because he says, I got a lot of wise guys like to throw their cigarettes at you. So I go down there, and the first night I'm introducing the acts, and the guys in front would say like this, bing, and they, you know, ow, you know, they shoot for your eyes with these cigarettes, just horrible places. I got knocked out on stage. We're doing 2 shows, and the guy snuck up behind me with a ketchup bottle. I just walked down stage. This guy comes up behind me and goes, bonk. Now, in the movies, they break and they shatter. They go bonk in real life. This guy goes, ow, just knocks me out. And I woke up, I had 6 stitches, and I got docked the second show because the owner of the club said, you know, you're a professional. You should expect this kind of stuff. You should always keep your eyes and your ears open on stage. So I'd go on stage like this, you know, I'd be looking around all the time, waiting for some attack from the left or from the left. Just strange sort of places.
Why didn't you give it all up?
It was show business.
Jay's initiation was all part of a time-honored show business tradition of starting on the ground floor.
I always had cards printed, and I used to ride up and down an elevator. I always looked like an actor, a little makeup on my collar, and I'd ride up and down the elevator hoping some booker would see me. And finally the elevator boy says, don't you play anything but this elevator?
Do you think about tomorrow, and next week, and next year?
Not really. I'm going to be here tomorrow, and I'll be here next year. I'll be here for... I can't, look. I don't believe in dying anyway.
No good.
I think it's been done.
On the related subject, Whoopi Goldberg's first job was a bit of a dead end, but she made the best of it.
I worked in a morgue.
What you do in a morgue?
As a cosmetologist. I'm a licensed beautician.
You did the...
Dead people.
You made them up?
Mm-hmm.
Was that awful?
Well, not for them, because they were dead.
Thank you. You want a straight man? You could make them up any way you want?
Well, yeah, you give them Joan Crawford lips and, you know, all kinds of stuff, and comb their hair. And sometimes they moved, you know, because if you've not been embalmed, you have all these muscles contract and do strange things. And so you'd be doing somebody's hair and their hand would move. It's like, okay, get up. I'm going to the corner of the room. If you're not dead and you're just running the scam, I will not look. I will tell them that the body disappeared. Just get out.
Tell me something. What's the name on your driver's license?
Whoopi Goldberg.
It is. It's not Karen Johnson?
No.
Not the real name?
No. No.
When you had such a pretty name, Karen Johnson's, I think, a lovely name.
Mm-hmm.
I know
it's like a Tupperware lady.
It is, I guess.
Yes, it's like, oh, I'm so glad, Barbara, you know, talking to you today about these things like Tupperware, you know, because my name is Karen Johnson. Of course, I represent Tupperware. I mean, that's who I am, you know. But Whoopi Goldberg is a persona.
Okay, do Whoopi Goldberg selling me Tupperware.
It works. Buy it, don't buy it, I don't care. Put it in the fridge, put it in the microwave, you know. You don't want to use it, I don't care.
My real name is Timothy Allen Dick.
I'm not sure, but I think Tim Allen is the only comedian to change his name to something less funny.
It's just so funny because we went to an Italian restaurant in Michigan, and I use that name when I don't want the pressure of Tim Allen, because if I say Tim Allen's coming, all of a sudden the dinner looks a little differently. All the relatives are eating there that night. And so I said Tim Dick was there, and so we're up there at the desk, and I said, she goes, the Dick party? And you get this question mark. I said, I'm the Dick. She goes, sir. I goes, I'm a dick. My wife goes, he is a dick. His mother's a dick. His whole family's dicks. They got cousins that were yelling this at this restaurant. And this is, of course, as long as you use it in context.
What makes something funny? What's funny and what's in poor taste? Can it be funny and in poor taste? Is it all in the language or in the idea or in the timing? We've asked the funniest people in the world to put their humor under a microscope.
Fine, you're doing splendidly. Speed it up a little!
You have said You said Lucille Ball, I don't think funny. I'm not funny.
I don't think funny. I can do funny things that other people write down in detail, tell me how to do them, but I really don't think funny.
Steroids. What can you get from sitting on a stereo?
I think one of the dangers, if you are a comedian, which basically I am, if you start to take yourself too seriously and start to comment on social issues, your sense of humor suffers somewhere. You can't really split it.
In the South Sea island of Tawanga, I let myself go.
I like that kind of lowbrow humor. I always have. I love slapstick, and I've always loved terrible, dirty jokes. You know, I've always loved them. And there are a lot of people out there who like them, too.
I ran in the house all excited to talk to Bill and picked up the telephone, and Bill got raw on me. I was like, hello, Mr. Cosby? And you hear, I would like to talk to you about some of the things that you do in your show.
If you get on stage and you say something and 20,000 people laugh, it's no way it was in poor taste.
A joke is in poor taste if it hurts someone's feelings. A joke is in poor taste if it makes fun of people who can't defend themselves.
Is anybody sacred to you?
No one.
No one.
No one. Who can't you tease and make jokes about?
Mother Teresa's a bad subject.
I would think so.
You don't get big laughs from Mother Teresa.
Unless you say it here.
I watched Lenny Bruce when I was in college, and Lenny Bruce was able to say rude things to make a point. I tried that early in my career about African Americans and ethnic groups, and if you miss by this much, you are a racist. If you hit it, you make your point.
When you're on stage, you talk about, see, it's hard for me to say. I was going to say, you talk about niggers. I can't, you can say it, I can't say it.
You
I
just
think it
said
sounds,
it.
yeah, but I feel
You said it very
so
good.
uncomfortable.
Well, good. You said it pretty good. This is not the first time you said it.
Yes, it is. Okay, but I wanted to talk about why you do it.
I don't know, I guess it's, I grew up and I learned certain things and I rebel by doing it myself. And it takes the sting out of it when you do it. You can't do it now. You can't stand to do it because it ain't no fun. Yeah. You can't hurt me with it. It makes you, yeah, good. Now 200 years of that.
Yeah.
And pick a little cotton and you'll be all right.
You never use any obscenity in your act.
No.
Deliberate?
Yeah.
Why?
But not because I cared to not offend. It's more because I think it's bad workmanship comedically. As a comedian, I know when most of the time when someone's using profanity, they haven't really done their job. And when you rely on profanity, it's because you couldn't quite nail it. You know, it's a cheat to me.
Saying a curse to me, it's like it's a way to express your. I'm not saying that hey, go on and curse on something. I'm just saying if you feel like saying something, don't look for a different word to say. I just talk. I'm not even conscious of it. I don't use profanity like for shock value on stage. If I write a joke out, I don't write the joke and say every other word. I'm gonna say MF here and I'm gonna say SH here and the joke doesn't come out like that. It doesn't work like that. I get on stage and I talk.
Suppose you are a psychologist studying the comic mind. You may choose only one subject. Could there be any choice other than Robin Williams? Funny and complex and spontaneous, explosive. Interviewing Robin Williams is like trying to hold helium in your fist. Watch how he thinks, how he's watching me, looking for any excuse to free associate, to take off and run with a word or an idea. Robin is a national treasure and the most original comic of our time.
Were you the lonely little fat kid who was
Sounds
rejected?
like a great book.
Yeah, here's the lonely little fat kid who was rejected in
Lonely
school.
Fat Boy.
Yeah.
Sounds like a blues song. Lonely fat boy, eating all the puns. That's scary, lonely fat boy. What's your name? I'm a lonely fat boy. I'm looking for love and a bicycle that'll hold my lonely fat ass. I'm sorry, again I've gone off.
No, that's okay.
I haven't performed on regular TV in so long.
I know, here's your big chance.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, but were you? Having said all, were you?
Yes,
kind of a
somewhat.
lonely kid and you kept changing schools? And
Yeah, because
father
moving around
moved
because
and-
of the automobile
Yeah.
business, moving from place to place. Should I? I should moisten.
Yeah, you can blot.
Oh, blot.
Blot.
I
Blot,
can
as
blot
they
now.
say.
Look, the lonely fat boy is going to blot.
I don't want them to think I did this
Yeah.
to you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like a Tennessee Williams play.
Barbara, it's so hot in here. It's like drool on a dog's lip. Mendacity. It's like the Brando interview. I'm sorry, I couldn't believe it. I keep walking by the pool and people go, it's in a clip. It's scary. Let's just wipe off here.
Robin, do you ever just talk straight?
Yeah.
For how long?
Hours at a time.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I can for a long time. Don't like to, I mean, because it's more fun to play.
It sure is.
And that's where performing came from. And then it really, I mean, sounds like a closet comic. I remember I used to have a rubber chicken. And the first year of college, I started performing in this improv group, and I never stopped since then.
That's not what you intended to do, though.
No, I intended to be a political scientist. It was, yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to imagine me right now going, Mr. Williams, how much you're doing right now, the neo-democratic tendencies. Basically, what I find the Supreme Court doing right now is writing the Constitution on an Etch-a-Sketch.
I think it's good that you went into a different profession.
Yeah, I think it's better that way.
When you get up there, do you know at all what you're going to say, or does it all, I mean, when you're there, does...
Sometimes. It's like an outline. Sometimes I have that, or sometimes it'll be times where I just go out and try stuff, where you have like an idea, especially now with things flying, is just to come up with a premise. I mean, it's like, example, the Supreme Court recently ruled that you can't execute retarded people, but there was recently an execution in North Carolina, or one of the southern states, somewhere below the Manson-Nixon line, where they executed a retarded person and someone didn't throw the switch the right way and they survived, which is nice because they're actually using retarded people for the execution. Don't be afraid. So this is all part of it. You try stuff. I can see the look of you like right now, like...
I mean, that's... Woo! Because to me, because to me, I think that's tragic. You can take anything and make it funny.
No, it's not trying to make it, well, it obviously didn't work that well the way you look.
Trying to make me cry.
I looked at you, you look like a deer.
This is going to be a switch.
Yeah.
This is going to be the first.
Whoa, you look like a deer in front of a Peterbilt, like.
Oh, we won't put that in the special, will we?
This is the first special in which you'll be straight and I'll cry.
Yeah, you'll be like...
You didn't have to do the retarded execution.
That's right.
You didn't have to talk about that.
You could have talked about the baby a little more.
Yeah, stay with the baby. Don't talk about the country.
It's scary. Excuse me.
We have to do the Waldheimlich maneuver on you. I don't remember anything before 1945. What happened? I don't know. Barbara. I was in the forest. I was not a Nazi. I was picking nuts. I was a Nazi. I was cracking walnuts. I never meant to do that. We were going to do a musical called Saturday Night Fever. I was never there. Goebbels was wearing something from Fredericks of Hollywood. It was not my fault. I was delivering underwear to Goebbels, and he was coming out dancing like Betty Grable. What does that make me? I don't know. They were crazy that way. We woke up, we were in Poland. It wasn't anybody's fault, you know. I think I'm warmed up now.
I think you're... Forget it.
Now we're back! It's been a couple of months since I've performed. Whoa!
For the first and only time on video, Johnny Carson's favorite moments from The Tonight Show.
What are you doing with that marmoset on your head?
From the spontaneous to the outrageous, the Washington Post calls it hilarious and entertaining. Pure magic, says the LA Daily News. Johnny Carson's favorite moments from The Tonight Show. Now on video, only $14.99 each.
Who thinks I'm sad?
Danny and Vicky broke up.
We have to be loving and we have to be caring. What, is he out of his mind?
You think that's loving or caring?
Full House. Then relive Jackie's big moment.
What's the problem? She's about to spew forth a human being from her loins.
Roseanne at a special time after Full House, Tuesday on ABC.
The Barbara Walters Special, brought to you by the makers of Tylenol, the pain reliever hospitals use most, and L'Oreal Hydravive Performance Shampoos and Conditioners.
After interviewing comedians for years and years, I can say one thing definitively. I have never met anyone who was funny and stupid. I'm not sure it's physically possible to be both. It takes a lot of smarts to tell a dumb joke and get away with it, and more than just a little reckless courage. Comedians are always in jeopardy of looking the fool every time they go for a pratfall or a punchline. But we are all the better for their having taken that risk. Good night.
This is Joan London.
And Charles Gibson. Tomorrow, how to protect yourself from the power of the sun this summer.
Also how to cook out inside.
Plus Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks tomorrow on Good Morning America.
Here on ABC.
Stay tuned for the American Comedy. Look at this. Tonight, from the Shrine Exposition Center in Los Angeles, it's the 8th Annual American Comedy Awards.
Do you ever find yourself standing in one of the rooms in your house and you can't remember why you went in there?
You lady killer.
Acquitted.
Listen to this thing idle.
Well, take it out of gear.
Huh?
Out of gear.
NRA has their cute little bumper sticker. You'll get my gun when you pry it from my cold, dead hand. Whatever.
This is a joke, right?
All human beings connect sex and love, except for men.
God bless America! Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chevy Chase.
Okay. See you back at the ranch. What? We're just friends. Well, it's a heck of a year on television, wasn't it? I mean, in America this year, we heard all about the Menendez brothers getting off, Reginald Denny getting hit, Michael Jackson getting sued, Burt Reynolds getting divorced, and John Bobbitt and I both got cut, so good year. Incidentally, if anybody at Fox ever says they want to put your name on a theater, either change your name to Schubert or get the hell out of town, is all I can say. Anyway, all of that is behind me now, and I hope it's behind you. And here I am hosting the American Comedy Awards, the final act of degradation. And now, let's get on with the most dignified comedy program on television, if you don't count hard copy. And here to present our first award is the star of Grace Under Fire, a new hit series on ABC that is so good, it would have hit even if it had been on Fox in my time period. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rhett Butler.
Well, good evening. Thank you, Chevy. Boy, what a difference a year makes. You know me, my friends down there. Last year, I'm sitting in the back with the other comedians, and this year I'm up here with a brand new hair curler, a brand new bus line, and a brand new TV show, and they're all huge, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm not here to blow my own horn. I do that on all the other shows. Instead, I am here to help honor my brothers and sisters of the stand-up comedy circuit, which, as you know, is the toughest road to hoe. Can you say hoe on TV? Anyway, I speak from experience about stand-up comedy because that's what I did for 12 years. We all do that. 52 weeks out of the year, or 14, depending on how many clubs your agent owns. It's for the stand-ups in the room. Thank you. Could I be any more in? Thank you. We get on the plane and sit next to the ubiquitous nursing mother who asks, in a voice not unlike that used to describe a car accident, "What made you want to be a comedian?" Because all the jobs for table dancing executioners were taken. "But doesn't your husband mind you traveling all the time?" "No, it's the sex for money part that he hates." After we land the plane and flee in different directions, we're checked into the Motel 2.5, happily ensconced in the Bob Crane suite, where the only magic fingers in the bed are mine, and they are busy trying to pry open the minibar for an $8 can of orange juice. Then we go to the club, where we find out that most of the audience is comprised of drunken frat boys who've memorized the last 3 Dice Clay albums and are reciting them busily in unison. And after that, we all go back to the hotel by ourselves and watch other comedians score really big on shows we could never get on despite colorful offerings to ancient wrinkled talent coordinators. And the next day, we get up, all of us, and we do it again. Unless I give the impression there's any other way I would have spent the last 12 years of my life, hell no, I wouldn't have done a damn thing different. There are a bunch of us here who are stand-ups, and I'm friends with all the nominees, the men and the women of the awards tonight. The nominees were chosen from comedy clubs in America. The top suggestions were sent clips to Comedy Central and shown on short attention span theater. In the first weekend, 250,000 people called in with votes. And before I go on, I wanted to say I'm announcing the best male stand-up comedian. One of the nominees is no longer with us, and no matter who wins, I think I speak for all of us when I say that part of tonight will belong to Bill Hicks. I know all of you didn't know him, but anybody who saw Bill Hicks could not fail to see that we were seeing art at its finest, humanity at its biggest, and stand-up comedy at its best. He showed us all a little more about the job we love, and we've lost a friend and a true inspiration. So the first nominee will show this clip, Bill Hicks, ladies and gentlemen.
I guarantee you that Reginald Denny, that truck driver, never gonna stop again as long as he lives. Could be an old woman with a baby carriage crossing the road. He's...
The other favorites are Carrot Top.
Gotta do this one. This is my favorite joke in the whole world. You think you look like an idiot? Check it out. I'm the Wendy's girl! Wendy's girl!
Will Durst.
I think Perot is just French for none of the above. That was his entire campaign theme. I'm not them. And 19% of America went, good enough for me, man.
Dom Herrera.
To me, you're just big bone. I love that big bone compound. You know, I'm not really fat, I'm very big bone. Yeah, isn't that amazing how you have those big fat bones in your ass?
Boy.
George Wallace.
Look, and they give you a satellite view of the whole world. I don't need to know what's going on in Timbuktu. I want to know what's going on right here. I want to see my weatherman with his head sticking out of the window. If his head is wet, I know it's raining.
And the most votes went to Carrot Top.
Thanks. I don't know where to start. I can't believe, I need to hold the prop, I guess, first.